Hey guys, we are here in downtown Yuma and we're gonna have a tour of the Sanguinetti House, which is the Prince Merchant of Yuma. This is a guided tour. It costs about $6 per adult. E.F. Sanguinetti's House and Gardens is located in Yuma, Arizona in the United States. Known to be the home of the famous Yuma businessman, it is now owned and operated by the Arizona Historical Society. The businessman, Eugene Francis or E.F. Sanguinetti, represents the story of the American dream. He was born on Coulterville, California on May 16, 1867. At the age of 15, he left home penniless and began his career in Yuma. Upon arriving, he secured a job at Ginocho and Company General Store as a store clerk. He earned $40 per month plus room and board. Each month, he will send $33 home to save and kept $7 for living expenses. After 4 years of saving, he partnered with John Gandolfo and bought the general store from Ginocho. Sanguinetti was now one-third owner of his own general store at the age of 19. By 1898, he became the sole owner of his own storefront. At one point, he was the largest employer in the area with over 200 employed residents. The list of more than 30 businesses he owned or co-owned was quite impressive, from real estate to farm operations to mining equipment to an ice plant to public utilities. Sanguinetti served almost all the needs of residents and businesses alike. The general store carried many items like groceries, hardware, mining supplies, and clothing. His business will grow to occupy 6 buildings in downtown Yuma. He will also expand to Yuma Mesa, the cities of Somerton, Gadsden, and Bard. Always the problem solver, when parking became an issue on Main Street, Sanguinetti rented an empty lot for his employees to park in, freeing up street parking for his customers. And throughout his career, he was known to keep the same work schedule. Each day, he would arrive at his office at 7:30 a.m. He would return home for lunch and a midday siesta. He would return to the store with a short dinner break and finish up around 8 p.m. The Family Man. At the age of 47, he married Lila Balls, who was a friend of his sister and 20 years his junior. They had 2 sons and a daughter, Francis, Norman, and Rosemary. Sanguinetti loved his modest home on Madison Avenue with its sprawling rose garden. He would often entertain business and political figures during dinner time. He loved his family and home so much, he was rarely seen dining outside. The Community Man. Sanguinetti cared for the community and the people of Yuma. His impact was so large, he was often referred to as Yuma's first citizen, Yuma's greatest benefactor, and the Merchant Prince of Yuma. The first public park in the city was built on 5 acres that he donated. When Yuma's one and only school was damaged during a flood, he led the movement to build a new school. He also volunteered his time to be the clerk of the school board. During each holiday season, he handed out packages of food to families in need. It was said his checks went out to the needy as often as payroll checks. Sanguinetti also had a vision for the city and what it could be. He spearheaded many of the developments that brought Yuma into the 20th century. He was a man of many firsts. He organized Yuma's first public utility, Yuma Electric and Water Company. He was a founding father of Yuma's Commercial Club and then the Yuma Chamber of Commerce. Spring flood is also common to the city. When the Southern Pacific Railroad was planning to build a new railroad tracks into Yuma, Sanguinetti recommended that they be built on a levee to protect the tracks from floods. Of course, this levee would also help protect Yuma from the spring floods, and it would eventually lead to the building of the first dam on the Colorado River, the Laguna Dam. Sanguinetti wanted Yuma to have the first vehicle bridge to cross the Colorado River, and he made it happen in 1915. For the first time, an automobile could now drive from Los Angeles, California, straight to Miami, Florida. The grand name of the Ocean-to-Ocean Highway Bridge. Years later, he would support Yuma expanding to the air with its municipal airport. Later life. Sanguinetti did suffer one major setback by investing heavily in cotton. After World War I, cotton prices dropped considerably. Sanguinetti's losses were upwards of $1 million. His financial advisors pushed him to claim bankruptcy, but he refused. It would take 20 years, but he repaid every one of his debts. In 1939, the American Legion gave him the Distinguished Civic Service Award. His wife died of a heart attack in 1937, and in 1939, facing declining health, he took up a residence in a sanatorium in California, where he spent the remainder of his life. E.F. Sanguinetti died on January 30th, 1945, at the age of 78. His contribution to Yuma have a positive and lasting impact on the city's community development and economy. His dedication of support for local projects and business initiatives have helped shape Yuma into a thriving and vibrant city. So now we learn the history behind Sanguinetti. Let's explore his home and the interesting way the Historical Society presented the history of Yuma by adapting the board game Clue.
We are having a wedding and a reception this evening. Is the original adobe portion of the home. And so when Sanguinetti moved here, it was just the two-room adobe. And then later he added on to the left all the rest of the house is stick-built, and he added one room at a time. If you just excuse me, a question, and there's a little book under the question where you are given a clue and to solve
the mystery?
Yes, yes, there you go, there you go.
Is anybody in your tour interested in a drink?
Yes.
We have Doc Holiday, which is like a Dr. Pepper. We have a cranberry mimosa. We have some beer. We have some wine. Anybody interested in anything?
Yeah, I'll have some.
Can I get the Doc Holiday?
Yeah.
So you have to let them know the cost.
We have, it's $2 for a
$2?
can.
Oh wait, what I watched this from
wrong?
And the clue is ask not.
President?
Okay. So here in Yuma, late 1800s, early 1900s, saloon owners realized they were in the perfect position to run for political office because they had a ready and willing pool of voters in their customers and patrons. So I'm just going to point out one such politician in Yuma. His name was Andrew Tyner, and he was sheriff of Yuma for one term.
So where was the first movie shown in Europe?
Heavenly.
Heavenly. At the prison?
And who? No, it heavenly.
that's
What's
heavenly.
heavenly? 1900, when the first movie was coming to Yuma to be shown, they opened up the convent and they charged in 1900 50 cents for a ticket. That was a lot of money in 1900 for a movie ticket, but it was a fundraiser, you know, so it was definitely a success. Now, you know, Yuma is the small of us do when we get older, you know. That's why I'm living in Yuma instead of the cold, you know, Illinois. I'm like, let me get out of here. Okay, so here, truth or tall tale. After an evening of drinking at a bar in downtown Yuma's Hotel San Carlos, John Wayne decided to take his favorite horse into the hotel elevator for a ride to the rooftop to give his horse a scenic view of Yuma. So, truth or tall tale? Cast your vote with a peg in the glass. Do you believe that's the truth or tall tale? Now, the Hotel San Carlos, the building is still on Main Street in First,
From here.
First
Put it there.
Street.
Oh, you put it here. See, you already know it because this one has less than that.
What does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
I see tall tale.
Yeah, me too.
How about you, Oli? You guess with a
Do
smile.
you believe this actor, this old actor that you never heard of?
No,
you
I've
know,
heard of him.
Oh, you heard?
You've
Okay.
been there.
This is his favorite show. He always watched the Western movies about
okay. So do you think after
When you're
drinking that he took his horse on the hotel elevator to the rooftop to get a view of Yuma?
If you're drunk, sometimes you do odd things, you know.
Well, you know, that's why there's so many truths, because people knew that, they know that if you've been drinking, anything's possible if you've had too much. I mean, look what happened to our former sheriff in China. But, and they also know that John Wayne has been known to do some, you know, some outlandish things, drunk or not. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know.
it. Oh.
We don't know. It's just something that has been repeated over and over through the decades. But we know that John Wayne spent time in Yuma because he had some, you know, films that were filmed on location here. And we know that Hotel San Carlos was built in the 30s. So, you know, so it's possible. But it hasn't been documented, okay?
Okay.
So now we're in the ballroom. Does anyone play piano?
Place
I
was
want a little bit.
I always try to get a free concert. Don't you want to test our
let me hold the drink.
our 18?
Don't play Christmas.
Eloped to the otherwise sleepy city of Yuma, Arizona between 1927 and 1956. Arizona had no waiting period where you all did. And so we had movie stars, we had musicians, athletes, mobsters, we had the army, you know, the service people. We had just everyday people, just because Yuma was right on the border, so it was close. But all of Arizona, you know, had the no waiting period during this almost 30 years. And so as a result of it, Yuma had so many wedding chapels and competition with spheres. We had judges, we had clergy, we had justices of the peace that kept their wedding chapel. So to this day, the chapel looks just like that photo. It's right on First Street, 1 block west of 4th Avenue. And people still get married there. And I get people who come in, oh, I got married, my mom got married there, so-and-so. So many people got married there. And it has been there, you know, since the early 1900s, you know. Yeah, and so with this tunnel and this siphon, this U-shaped structure. And so it siphons the Colorado River water in parts of California, and even some of Mexico get some water. Which one do you think?
These are clues, Precious.
Yeah, I'm looking at this book.
Right here. Oh, there's
Well, that only mentions some, it doesn't mention everything. And so, of course, unlike our northern neighbors, we didn't have access to lakes, you know, where they froze, the ice froze and they cut it out. We didn't have that. We didn't have ice in the dead of summer, with temps being 115, 120 sometimes. So they used to have these boards called cooling boards. Whenever he would gather people together, he would have these business lunches. So if you were a civic-minded person or an entrepreneur, you probably would have dined with Sanguinetti at one time. Eating alcohol. Irvin, do you want to, I'm going to read the question, and could you open the clue when I finish reading the question?
okay.
Okay, so the question here in the parlor is, what branch of forensic science was first used to solve a crime of murder in Yuma, Arizona? And the clue is...
Guns.
The clue is...
Bang bang.
Okay. Okay, but remember, we're asking, what was the forensic science? So I have to tell you this story, okay, about this murder, okay? So,
It's the weapon.
not here. Not here. Okay, so this is Paul Hadley. So this took place in the 1920s. So Paul was on a train heading to California. Well, not really. He wanted to go to California, but he got off the train in Tucson. I think he got off in Tucson because he didn't have money to continue on to California. That's what I believe, because otherwise he would have went on to where he wanted to allegedly go. So Paul ran into this couple called the Johnsons, and they were heading to California too, but they were driving. So Paul told them some story, I don't know, and about, you know, trying to get them to give him a ride to California. And unfortunately, the Johnsons hesitantly agreed to give him a ride, which was unfortunate. So I don't know how far, oh, I'm sorry, walk in front of you. I don't know how far out of Tucson they had gotten, but this is Paul. He's in the back seat of the Johnson's car. Paul pulls out his pistol. He shoots the Johnsons in the back. And he must have shot Mrs. Johnson maybe in the head, or either one of the bullets hit a vital organ, because she died immediately. Mr. Johnson, Paul left Mr. Johnson for dead. He probably played dead. But the saddest part, all of it is sad, but Paul didn't steal their car. He didn't rob them. He didn't take anything from them.
Why did he kill him then?
And so he fled the scene. So Mr. Johnson, he lived, and he was able to make it to the nearest town. I can't remember what it was, but it was outside of Tucson on the way to California. So he was able to identify Paul and tell the sheriff that it was Paul who killed his wife and left him for dead. Yeah. So then the investigator of the murder had heard of this guy called... Oh, please sign our guest book. It's so nice to turn the pages and see where everyone came from. Yeah, we have a restroom if you need it before you go. But hopefully you have a sweet tooth.
Yes.
I know I have a tutor of my blood sugar doesn't.
Oh, yeah. 5 times 6 is 30, and then the box is 9. Is the box 9?
bars.
I have.
I have it in the.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoy our tour. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, bye.
So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. Come on guys, hit the bell. For notifications. And don't forget to share.
And like.